Hey, this is Mark Moore, aka Tuxedo Mark, at various places on the internet. It's 11:38 a.m. according to a computer clock on Saturday, September 19, 2020. Okay, everyone's out for the moment, so I decided to record this update video to let you know what's been going on. My sister and her husband showed up here on Thursday, the 17th, at about somewhere, I think, shortly after 9 p.m. I don't remember exactly. Now, as it turned out, my sister had been planning to come and stay here long term, as she put it today, for months or maybe even years, to cook and do things for my mom. But obviously, yeah, so she's gonna stay here a while longer, and then she'll eventually go back up to Illinois. Now, what happened? First night, we really didn't do anything. I showed her some papers and stuff, but on yesterday, on the 18th, she kind of kept busy by trying to declutter the kitchen, because my mom was a hoarder. She kept everything, pretty much everything. We've got, I don't know if this is the case anymore now that my sister's gone through it, but we've had like pots and pans that possibly date back to the 70s. She brought that stuff from Chicago with her. So a bunch of recycled stuff. We went to the dump yesterday after the funeral home, which I'll get to that part. But we went to the dump. We dropped off just recycling. We didn't throw out any trash yet, and we haven't made any donations. So this morning I've been going through the bags in the garage to try and salvage some of the stuff that my sister saw fit to donate. I'm like, no, I want to keep this. Like a little electric grill and I forget what else at the moment, but yeah, still can't find what she did with my garlic chopper. We had like a little garlic chopping thing that we often used. But anyway, so the kitchen it's clearer now. But anyway, so yesterday, shortly after noon, we had gone to the funeral home, and I thought we would see my mom for the last time, but she wasn't there. She was in their funeral home in another city, and we wouldn't be able to see her anyway because of COVID and everything. They don't let anyone see bodies that haven't been embalmed. Okay, so and she's not going to be embalmed. My sister and I guess, decided not to do that. That means no wake view or anything like that. But yeah, so, and my mom had always told me, do it as cheap as possible, get rid of my bodies the cheapest way possible, and after that you could do whatever you want with the ashes. So that's what we're gonna do. Apparently we're not even gonna have a funeral mass, because my sister wasn't sure how many people would be attending, like, because she said mom didn't have many friends around here, which I don't know, but anyway, Lucky is down here with me. He misses his mommy, so I'm trying to keep him as close to me as possible wherever I am in the house. So I brought his bed along with him, and he's just sitting with me here. Yeah, so yesterday was basically declutter the kitchen, go to the funeral home, sign for the and sign and pay for the cremation. Still got to pick out an urn. And either of us can pick up the ashes when they're ready. Lucky, where'd you go? Anyway. So, as for what's happening with me, I'm not going anywhere for right now. I'm gonna stay down here in Florida, even though even my sister-in-law, my brother's widow, had asked if I was moving back up there. Not right away. I mean, eventually I'll have to, I guess, because this place is too big for me. I mean, my mom had said she was upset that apparently I didn't show appreciation that she and my dad had worked hard to at least have this place and maintain it, and I don't care about it. It's a double wide mobile home with additions, so I guess you could call it triple wide. I don't know, this dining room and the hallway down there and the extra bathroom are all new. The back porch is new, the front porch is new. By new I mean like 87. And we moved here in 86. I have home movies of our first Christmas dinner here. This dining room table, here's one of the chairs, was in there before because all of this didn't exist. Yeah, there's the sunroom, or as my dad called it, the breezeway past the hallway at the end here. I'm not going to turn the camera because that might show you. Took extended pictures of it just before.
Discover within the kitchen. I'm going to probably get rid of a lot of wall decorations and other stuff. That's a lot of the stuff in this china cabinet here my mom collected over the decades. Some of it's probably from the 70s. She brought this whole big cabinet, reaches almost to the ceiling, along with this dining room table. She brought it all from Chicago. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of this china dates back to 1976 when she moved here. I have no use for it. I mean, it's memorable, I guess, because insofar as it's always been around, but I've never used most of this stuff, and we never used it much generally either, except maybe when we had company over like Christmas or Easter. But that was only in the early years, through like maybe the early to mid 90s, and then we don't really get visitors that often anymore, and if we do, it's not during the holidays. We want to stay up there during the holidays, so yeah. My sister-in-law and her daughter, who would be my brother's second youngest daughter, they arrived here around midnight, probably shortly after midnight, and then we stayed up till 2 or 3 in the morning. They're all right now because my brother-in-law has to go back to Illinois, and so they took him to the airport. They all decided to go,
and then they'll be back, and we're gonna go out to eat somewhere, some local. I don't know if it's a local restaurant. It's somewhere. I've never heard of the place, but then again, I don't eat locally except for like fast food stuff here. I've never really been to much in the way of locally owned restaurants down here. It's just hasn't been my thing. Oh, hi, Lucky, you're back. Yeah, you're sticking your tongue out at me. Yeah, he's yeah, he's got his tongue perpetually sticking out. So right now I'm just waiting for them to get back, and we'll probably go out to eat somewhere, and they're gonna stay until Sunday. We're gonna go to church tomorrow. It's just gonna be a regular mass. It's not like for my mom or anything. And then they're gonna, my sister-in-law and my niece are gonna leave. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow or the day after, but then it'll be just my sister and me. She told me that she could stay, or she could go if I don't need her or anything. She said she doesn't want to be in my way. Oh, whatever. But yeah, I took a bunch of extensive photographs of the house. As far as I could tell, I don't know if I got my mom's bathroom or closet, probably not. But I'm gonna take more later on after I've figured everything out here and gotten rid of everything that I want to get rid of. And maybe redecorate something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then you can see the before and after. Now, why didn't I video record this, you might ask? And why am I still using this webcam, you might ask? Well, you know that digital camcorder that I showed off in my last video? Yeah, I went to charge it. Okay, first there's the cord that plugs into the sorry if you hear someone yelling outside. It's a neighbor perpetually looking for a dog or calling for a dog or whatever. But anyway, there's first the cable that plugs into the camera. And then it's supposed to be like a, it's supposed to have like a USB, and it plugs into another cord that then also has a USB end that plugs into the AC adapter, and that plugs into the wall. The problem is the cable that connects from the camera to the second cable is completely the wrong one. First, the little connection piece, like the small part, it didn't fit into the camera. Also, the other end naturally should look like a USB plug. It did not. It looked more like an HDMI plug. It was the completely wrong cord, so there was no way to charge the camera. I had to return it. I checked in electronics first to see if they had another one and I could do an exchange. Nope, it was the last one. So, I don't have a digital camcorder. I'll probably have to check another Walmart, or maybe even head down to Best Buy sometime. I don't know.
one thing that I want to mention, kind of as a side note, is I've been watching Glee, and the day before yesterday, the day that I found my mom, I was waiting for my sister to arrive. I didn't know her husband was coming as well, but I was waiting, and to pass the time, I watched the next episode. And it was the one right before Shooting Star, because I watched that one last night. But anyway, in the episode that I watched, they performed that Coco Cabana song. I forget. I forget who it's by at the moment, but it starts off with that line. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. Oh, Lola was my mom's name. So, yeah, talk about great timing, huh? Lucky, where'd you go? Lucky. Oh, hi. Hi. He's so small that I can sometimes miss him. So I guess I'll just talk about some other stuff right now. Digital purchases, maybe. I got a $50 Nintendo eShop gift card, and I bought a 1-year Nintendo Switch Online subscription. I got Monopoly. Let me bring up my list. Alright. What I got was Uno, because I remember playing the card game. I enjoyed it. So I got Uno, Monopoly, La Grande Legacy, and Street Basketball. And out of those, I've played Uno and Monopoly so far. I got stuff that was on sale, basically. Other than that, just I don't know if I mentioned already, I'd gone 1 month subscription to Disney Plus, and then I paid for the premium access thing. So I'm watching Mulan a little bit at a time. I finished Bill and Ted Face the Music, and that was pretty good. I wasn't blown away by it, but then again, didn't even know what to expect. I didn't even expect we'd have a new Bill and Ted film. Apparently what they did because you would think the second one was it, judging by the ending. But apparently all of those newspaper clippings, the montage at the end of the second film, was done by a graphics editor, and the creators don't consider it canon, so they ignored that one part at the end of the film. So Bill and Ted are like in their 50s. They still haven't written the song that will unite the world. And it's all about, apparently now they have to race the clock to finish it and perform it by a certain time, or else all of time and space will unravel. Well, that came out of nowhere. Rufus's daughters sent to help them. Bill and Ted's daughters go on their own journey to assemble a band of the greatest musicians from history, and you can debate whether or not they actually picked up the greatest musicians, but they did a pretty good job. And there's a little twist. They kind of wiggle with some of the lore to make it work at the end, but it works. And it was good to see the two guys back together again. I'm a long-time Bill and Ted fan. I started out with the animated series, season 1, Hanna-Barbera, back in 1990. Yeah, it was the 1991 season. That's when I started with it, and then I watched the Deke season, and I watched the live-action series. Now, sometime while I was watching the first season of the cartoon, I hadn't yet seen the movie, but someone at school let me borrow it, so that was nice of them. And then I rented Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey when it came out. Our local gas station down the street here used to be in the video rental service, so my mom got a car there. We would go down there and rent movies. Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing that a gas station or a convenience store would do that, but maybe it wasn't unusual back in the 80s. And they kept doing that until like the mid-90s, and then they got out of it. I remember I myself rented like Crimson Tide, rented Showgirls from there. Yeah. But anyway, so it was good to see the Wild Stallions back together again. It's more of a sequel to Bogus Journey, but there's also elements from Excellent Adventure, and they don't mention like the Martians or the good robot Usses. We don't know what became of them. But yeah, overall it's an enjoyable film, and I paid the full price because it was only like $5 more than the rental price, so I figured why not. I'll get it again on Blu-ray when it comes out, but you know, I might wait until they'll probably inevitably have like a trilogy set. So I mentioned Mulan, yeah. What else? Just reading ebooks on my computer, working on fanfics. And I guess that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say at the moment. But yeah, okay, so that's it. It's 12:03 p.m. Thanks for watching.